time for the MD and Chef Team Show.
Let's go!
The content in this show is for informational purposes only. It is not intended for medical advice. It does not take the place of medical advice or treatment from a physician or health professional. Listeners and viewers should consult their own doctor or a qualified healthcare professional for specific health and wellness concerns and questions. And now, let's start the MD and Chef Team Show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the MD and Chef Team Show. I'm Nutritional Chef Michael, joined as always by my hottie bride, your doctor on a mission, Dr. Isabel. Hello, my dear.
Hi, handsome.
Hands all over me already.
Oh, babe. I just love doing this with you.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, isn't it?
Fun.
Yes.
Yeah, we break all the rules and have a good time.
Yeah, we're going to learn and have fun while we learn, because that's the best way to learn.
Why not?
And as our great friend Rubio says, guess what?
Showtime!
It's showtime. Let's rock and roll. Yes, yes. Hey, thanks for joining us today. You know, let's just have a chat. Like some friends having a chat today. We're going to talk about some things to do with health. We're going to talk about a segment on relationships, because we've known each other now for almost 45 years and still hanging out.
And keep learning about each other.
Oh, and keep learning. It just never stops.
Yeah.
That learning curve never stops.
It's
And sometimes it goes doink, and then but it keeps on going. That's
it does
the
go
key.
doink sometimes, but then we go, okay, we got to correct this. We got to work on this.
And we'll have some inspiration segment later on in the show.
Yeah.
But my dear, just to quickly having an opportunity to, well, not to be quickly, but just a chance to say hello to everyone, and also, you know, what can they expect with the MD and Chef Team Show?
Thank you so much for being with us today. We know that your time is very valuable. We're here to just help you understand that you do not have to suffer with disease. A lot of the chronic disease that you're seeing out there is preventable and is reversible. And I'm telling you, my heart has been broken into pieces after being a frontline GP, family practice doctor, seeing all of this out there. And I just kind of want to give you an idea of what we have. We essentially have a problem where we're taking care of healthcare when it's down at the bottom. Like, imagine a sink that's overflowing, and we're just like mopping up the floor all the time with the mop, with drugs, surgery, all those sorts of things. When in fact, that's the downstream event. That's what we're dealing with right now, is the downstream event. And that's what doctors are dealing with. And patients are fed up because they don't want to be unwell.
Very true. You hear it all the time.
Yeah, because they don't like being sick. Being sick sucks.
Yeah.
And so what we've learned is that you don't have to be mopping up the floor. You can actually learn to turn off the faucet so you don't have an overflow, so you don't have all this medical problems, all these diseases. And we need to just work upstream. And by turning off the faucet, that's working upstream so that you don't have the downstream event, okay? So we're here to help you, if you want, to consider ways to work upstream so you don't have the downstream event. So if that's for you, then stick around, because it's gonna be eye-opening. And we just want to reach out to you and let you know you do not have to suffer. And it's not your fault. Oh, sorry. You
Pounding
don't
away on the table already. Boom, boom, boom.
The Cuban is coming out. It's not your fault that you're unwell, okay? Yes, you have a part in it, okay? But it's not your fault if you are unwell. There's so much that you can start implementing in your life and in your family's life that will help you. And it's simple back pocket principles that we just want to help you implement in your life if you so choose, okay? I always like giving the vision, where do you want to be in 5 years? Do you want to be sick or do you want to be well? Where do you want to be a month from now, sick or well? Well, guess what? The choice is yours. And Michael and I know how to get you there, so come along if you want to be well or reverse the unwellness so that you're well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you were saying that,
It gives me so much, I love talking about this because this is like true medicine, is giving people hope. The hope is in the medicine is in the hope. Like, it doesn't have to be like that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Right.
But you don't have to end up like all that stuff that you're seeing out there, because it's ugly.
And your passion just comes out through that, through you into everybody. Your passion about the health comes out. And as you were saying that about upstream, downstream with health, it also made me think about, when we do our relationship chats, it's really about upstream, downstream with relationships and sticking together. It's about, doing the upstream work so that you have a healthy relationship. Because again, if we don't do the work in a relationship, if we don't do the upstream work about maybe there's problems going on, but if we just allow them to continue on, it's just going to be a train wreck.
It's going to be divorce.
Right. We have to do the work upstream to get things right.
Right.
So let's see. We got Ruby has got.
What does a back pocket principle mean? Never heard that phrase.
Yeah,
I love
good
it.
Question. Great
so
question.
A back pocket principle is just something that you can pull out of your pocket, out of your toolkit, and implement it. For instance,
I got one.
Go for it.
Like waking up in the morning, because at nighttime we dehydrate. We sweat, we dehydrate, we lose a lot of hydration during the night. When you wake up in the morning, within 30 minutes of waking up, make sure you get 500 milliliters of water, which I think that's like a couple cups.
2 cups, yeah.
2 cups. Have that within the first half hour waking up. Why? Because you start to wake up your body. It's like giving a plant that's been drooping, give it some water. It actually helps your brain. It wakes you up. It gets you going in the morning before you have any other kind of liquids. That's a back pocket principle, because that's a very quick, easy, simple thing that we can all implement. It's not something like, oh my gosh, I got to make these massive changes in my life. It's a simple, quick, easy thing that we can do to remember that, in the morning, 500 mils, 2 cups of water, within a half hour of waking before I have any other liquids. That's going to enhance my overall brain health and my physical health.
And you ask yourself, why would I do this? Well, it helps with your energy levels. So if you want more energy in the morning, besides just the coffee, add the water. That's a simple back pocket principle. First.
So thank you for that question, Rubio. Great question. That nice, easy back pocket principle. You can just pull that one out. It's like a little cue card cheat sheet. Oh, that one's easy.
I want more energy in the morning. Oh yeah, right. Drink 2 cups of water.
Yeah, first thing.
Yeah. I forgot that the other day. I don't know what happened, but I was drinking my coffee and I was starting to feel tired after the buzz. I was like, I didn't drink my water.
I got dehydrated overnight, and then I just dehydrated myself more with the caffeine. Kaboom.
Yeah. So I pulled out my back pocket principle.
So guess what?
What?
Today's show.
Oh, yeah. What are we going to talk about? That's right. What are we going to talk about today?
So it's the hows, whats, and whys of sleep and brain health, part 2. Now, if you missed part 1, go check that one out, episode 1. Really got into a lot about why is society struggling with sleep, what's sleep and brain health, what's the connection. Today we want to dive even further into that and build on that foundation we got from the first one. Again, you'll get a lot out of today, but if you put our last episode and this episode 1 and 2 together, you get a whole lot of great principles for sleep.
A lot of back pocket principles.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of back pocket principles. There you go. And please remember, comments are open. As you can see, Rubio's thrown in some comments throughout the whole show. Comments, suggestions, questions. If you're like, hey, wait a second, what about this with sleep? fire away. We're in here for you. And if you come in and catch us on a replay, give us a hashtag replay. Let us know you came in on the replay, and feel free to put in comments in there, suggestions, if you catch us on replay, because we jump in and answer those for you. We are always here for you. We follow up.
Boom.
So, my dear.
All right, I'll take it away.
Sleep and brain health part 2. What do you got for us today?
Sleep. Well, I never took sleep seriously as a medical doctor. You know, I was trained to sleep maybe 2 or 3 hours. What's the matter?
Go ahead. I'm just grabbing some water.
I'm
hydrated.
Where are you going?
Yeah. No, where are you going? All the way.
Don't go so far.
I've gone to here.
I was, as a medical doctor, I was never trained to respect sleep. I thought it was just something you did for a couple of hours a night, and then you just keep on going. You know, that's being the real beast, really being a champion. And so I thought, okay, well, as a doctor, you'll sleep when you die. That was my mentality. And so whenever I would have a patient come in to my practice, this was a long time ago, I'm not that person anymore, they would say, I'm not sleeping, doc, you know. And then in medical school, we're taught nothing about sleep hygiene. Zero. We're taught just hand out pills, but only for a few days, maybe a week, because they're addictive, and then no more. So whenever a patient would come in to see me, I would think automatically, oh no, you know, they're drug addicts. They want sleeping tablets. Okay, I'll give them a little bit, but I'll forewarn them that's all they're going to get. How mean was I? That's just mean. I'm so mad that was me.
And I just want to add some context for you as a frontline doctor. You've been doing that now. You have sat one-on-one in front of about 500,000 people plus. Over 33 years?
33.
33 years, and it's really been that second half of that time when you woke up and said, oh my gosh, what are we doing here? There's got to be a better way. And that's where
there is a better way.
Right, and that's where you made these changes.
And that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Because there's a better way.
Yeah. Just to give them context of what you're talking about with the way you were doing it and the difference now and what you saw and have awoken to and said, wait a second, wow, I've got to go down this track.
Yeah. However, God had another plan for me to learn my lesson. And I joke about it now, but it was really ugly. In 2013, when we started Doctor on a Mission to help people prevent and reverse disease and give them hope, we started a business, and I was just a doctor, wife, mother, and a brand new entrepreneur in medicine. Just a whole
pile of things there.
Yeah. And I was menopausal. And so I didn't realize that part. But a year into our business, the business wasn't working as fast. And so when I don't sleep, I get anxious, which is very, very common. People get super anxious when they don't sleep. And so I only slept maybe 2 to 3 hours every night for 17 straight nights. And by the end of that 17 nights, I was a hot basket mess. I was at the end of myself. So I was taught how to learn how to take good care of my sleep and your sleep. And that's why I'm here, because I don't want you to become psychotic like I did. I was a danger to myself. And I'm not going to go any deeper than that right now. But I just want to let you know that sleep deficiency affects us seriously. Some people more than others. So I take sleep super seriously right now. Michael, on the other hand, has no problem sleeping, which...
I'm very blessed in that area.
You are so blessed.
Even in very, very, very stressful times, I sleep. Now, I might have...
Yeah, it's not fair.
Daytime, I might go through the stress, anxiety, and really bad thoughts and that during the day, but not at nighttime. So as you say, some people have a rougher time with the stressors of life and the anxiety of life in nighttime. Fortunately for me, I'm able to sleep.
Yeah, it's okay, babe. You can sleep. It's a good thing. And so the goal is for you to become like this, like Michael. So imagine being able to sleep through the whole night, waking up rested, like going, wow, I feel great. I'm ready for today. Not feeling like you've been sleeping on a bed of nails all night long. Not feeling wired when you wake up. That is just the most horrific experience. So that's where we're going. So let's talk now about what happens about sleeping in the world. I've only got information about America, and 70 million Americans don't sleep well. 70 million. There's only 300 million?
330 million.
330.
So that's what,
I love it that you figure this out.
probably 20%, yeah, or more, 25%, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll be amazed that these people just keep on going because they think that this is just the way it is. Some people actually think that not sleeping is normal. And I just want to let you know, because I've heard you face to face saying, well, that's just the way it is for me. And I just press on. I just carry on. Well, it scares me to think that these people are driving.
Yeah.
It scares me to think that these people are handling heavy machinery and running the world on little sleep. But
well, we know here in New Zealand, where we currently live, a lot of the car accidents are caused by drowsiness. And we've seen that many times where, we actually here in New Zealand, we have signs along the road, take a break, take a rest. And that because they have found one of the highest rates of car crashes is drowsiness. Because there's a lot of workers out on the road. There's a lot of shift workers because of our agriculture, farming, these types of industries, that there's a lot of shift workers in them. And
or anybody driving long periods, like 5 hours.
Yeah, because it takes a while to get around the roads of New Zealand. There's
just a little bit.
There's no super highways or anything, so people get very drowsy.
Yeah, they're really into their one-lane highways. And it's like...
Yeah, highway's kind of not
highway.
Really a highway. But,
it's a one-way.
Yeah. You do see signs here very often about take a break, rest.
You and I were on a trip that took us 5 hours. That should have only taken 2, but it was 5 hours, and we were like, wow, we saw the sign. So, even travelers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sleep is medicine. Dr. Mark Hyman talks a lot about that. How did Michael deal with you not sleeping, as that had to impact him as well? He had no clue. I didn't share it with him. I did not share that with him until I came to the end of myself. Then it was revealed. Yeah. Now you're more tuned into my sleeping, but I really did hide it from you.
Yeah, but part of it I knew, and just to say it didn't affect me, it did affect me. But I guess for me, what happened, Isabel's problem was she could fall asleep, but then when she fell asleep, she would wake up during the night and then stay awake. So I always fall asleep, and then, yes, I might awake and realize she was awake, and I might be awake for a little bit and stay with her, but then I would just fall back off again. My problem was I couldn't stay awake. I'd fall back asleep, and she couldn't fall back asleep. And so I become, let me just say, as a partner of somebody that struggled with sleep, I also have become very, very, very much aware. I did not realize the problems with sleep. I didn't realize the ramifications of the lack of sleep. And so this has helped me to understand that sleep is a problem, and to also learn a lot about sleep and how to help people get good night's sleep. Because just because I can, I know that, I know because I hear Isabel's stories, I hear our clients coming in talking about how they struggle with sleep. So for me, it's been an awakening of understanding that, yes, sleep is a major problem. Yeah, so.
Serious problem. It can become a serious problem. Yeah.
And so did it affect me? Yes, it did, but only once I became aware more of the situation and the understanding of it, and became more empathetic about the situation, because just in having said that, this does take us, I know this takes us a little off track, but it's
That's
just
okay,
something
hon.
I've
It's
learned.
our show.
Yeah, just something I've learned, because this is a great point, I believe, that Rubio's bringing up, is people who, if you have somebody that you know who has anxiety or depression, is struggling, or mental health, one of the things for Isabel and I were passionate about in this area of mental health and brain health is because society generally, if somebody's struggling, and let's say your friend comes up to you and says, oh, I'm just struggling with such anxiety and this and that, and they start telling you a lot about it, we tend to back away, or even that circle of friends tends to back away with, well, they're really, they're struggling, I'm not going to say we all do that, but a lot of society generally will do that and say, geez, man, they just need to,
Toughen up,
pull up their bootstraps and, get on with life. Geez, it's hard for all of us. Oh my God, what a wimp. They can't even deal with it. And I can say with all honesty that before my beautiful wife was struggling with anxiety and depression in those areas, I would have felt the same way, like, oh, come on, you're so bubbly and wonderful and great. I mean, how do you, oh, come on, just get going, get up, get strong. I mean, and, so for me, it's also helped me to understand, and one of the reasons we're passionate about working in this area is society needs to change its mental process and thinking about mental health and people that are struggling, and just being more empathetic and saying, hey, okay, I understand this is not just a quick fix thing, like,
no,
come
it's
on,
not.
just get yourself together. There's a lot going on here, and there's a lot of lifestyle factors that can lead to this type of poor brain health.
Right.
But, and so this is an area also, sleep, brain health, anxiety, and depression, all these areas are areas that we as a society need to learn to be more empathetic toward people and more empowering and more compassionate, to just say, hey, okay, yeah, you're struggling. All right,
let's break this down.
Let me just walk with you on this, and let's have a chat. What's going on?
Right, instead of just throwing pills at people.
Yeah.
Which was what happened to me.
Yeah, so
as
sorry
a doctor.
to go off track.
No, don't be sorry, honey.
That's just, with your sleep, with all the other things, this is something that, we all need to become more aware of and change our mentality. That, and especially with men, when, we have a problem here in New Zealand with a lot of farmers struggling mentally, because it's such a rough industry, and you're, out there and that, but, it's tough. Just tough it out, and, it's hard. They don't have a place that they do have places to turn to, but they don't realize they do. And, we need to give people help when they need it.
Hence the reason we do the MD and Chef
So
Team
that
show.
was your public service announcement for today. All righty, onward.
That was good. And now I don't hide my sleeping problems with you anymore. Like, if I'm not sleeping in the middle of the night, I'll go, babe, help me. Because we got a plan in place now. But I don't hide it from him anymore, because I now know that he won't give me that response of, toughen up, girl. Go to sleep. Take a shower. Go to
night sleep. You'll be fine. Yeah.
No. So you've learned. You've softened up. And
well, I've had to learn that it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because it's not, I don't personally have that problem, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Good word. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, so sleep is medicine. Pharmaceutical companies know this, and in 2022 they made $78 billion. And it's expected to reach 131.35 billion in 2032. That's just in America. That's
just in the USA. That's not even worldwide.
Yeah.
And that's just sleep aids. That's just sleep stuff.
Yeah. So there's a lot of money to be made from you not sleeping. So The problem is most pharmaceutical sleep aids are anticholinergic. I'll break that word down. Anticholinergic is something that anti means stop, and cholinergic is stopping acetylcholine. Acetylcholine are chemicals in your brain to help your nerve cells to connect so that they talk to each other. So I'll just say that again. Most sleep aids are anticholinergic, meaning they stop the action of acetylcholine, the chemical in your brain that helps your brain talk, helps your brain with memory, focus, and learning. That's not good. So sleeping tablets may seem to work, but not for long term. They help short term, and I'm okay starting people on sleeping tablets for a short, like 10-day, 2-week period if they need it. Whatever, you work with your doctor. I'm just saying, don't be afraid to start a little bit to help you kick in, okay? Because you gotta sleep. It's so important. The equation that I like to give people is when you have decreased sleep, you become anxious. When you become anxious, you can also become depressed, hopeless, suicidal. You go to the doctor. You say, hey, I am not sleeping and I'm getting anxious. So we, in our back pocket, only have pills to give you, sleep aids, sleeping tablets. We also give you antidepressants, anti-anxiety medication, all of which block acetylcholine. They're anticholinergic. These medications have side effects. They will decrease your learning, your memory, and your focus, and eventually can lead on to Alzheimer's. Who knew? I didn't know that, but I learned from my whole journey with sleeping. So to recap, we have, if you come to us as conventional medical doctors, I'm a functional medicine doctor now, retrained, so I get to the root. I help people do it holistically. If you come to a conventional doctor, just know that they know how to give you a sleeping tablet. Sleeping tablets decrease your acetylcholine. And they can also say, okay, and I'd like for you to start on an antidepressant. Antidepressants also are anticholinergics. They decrease your acetylcholine. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you got two whammies, double whammies. You've got a sleeping tablet, because this is what happened to me. This is what they gave me. They gave me a sleeping tablet and they gave me an antidepressant. And so now I've got a double whammy, which decreased my memory, my focus, and my learning. And if I kept that up, which a lot of people do, you'd be amazed how many people are on sleeping tablets and antidepressants. You start heading towards Alzheimer's because you don't have the chemical in your brain called acetylcholine to help with memory, focus, and learning.
So let me just say,
Yeah.
from our business personal coaching experience, because Isabel and I work with Dr. Dale Bredesen and his RECODE, Reversal of Cognitive Decline program for reversing Alzheimer's,
And preventing it.
But I'm just talking about the reversing side of it right now, is people that have come to us as clients to reverse their Alzheimer's. They're already got a couple toes in, a foot in, however much may be they're in. They've got Alzheimer's. How would you say, correct me if I'm wrong, but my recollection is correct, I would say 9 out of 10 of those clients were on some type of either sleeping aid or antidepressant that they were on long term, that they had been on for many years.
You said 9 out of 10?
I would say 9 out of 10.
I would calculate it at 7.
7 out of 10.
Yeah, 7
okay,
out of
so
10.
70% of the people that have come to us have been on some kind of either antidepressant or sleeping aids long-term over years. And some have been, we're like 10, 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
And now they're in Alzheimer's. So there is truth to this. Are they great for a temporary aid so somebody can catch up with their sleep and kind of get their brain thinking again?
Sure.
Absolutely. But the caution needs to be put there for people to understand that the path then long term they could be heading down is a very not good path.
Dangerous, yeah.
Dangerous path.
And also give them, hey, and this is what you can do so that you don't end up downstream. You can start working and building your foundation on sleep, which is what we're doing.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because people don't know. Because doctors don't have time to do this in the practice, hon.
I know.
I know you know. I just wanted to let you know.
You know.
Do you know that? Okay, so back to
two groups.
Sleeping tablets. So now there's two groups of sleeping tablets to make you aware of. One is benzodiazepine, and then the other one are called non-benzodiazepine. Benzodiazepine, some of the names you may have heard of are Halcion, Prosom, Restful, lorazepam, temazepam, and diazepam. Now, if the research shows that if you take these benzodiazepines between 3 and 6 months, that increases your risk of Alzheimer's by 32%. If you're taking them from greater than 6 months, then you've increased your risk of Alzheimer's by 84%.
Boom.
Yeah. So people ask us, well, what can I do to prevent myself from getting Alzheimer's? Those are one of the things, is get your sleep right. The next is non-benzodiazepine. That's the other group. Now, non-benzodiazepines include things like antihistamines, which are also anticholinergic, and they decrease acetylcholine. So some of the names are Imivane, also known as Zopiclone, Ambion, Lunesta, Sonata, and then the antihistamine category is Benadryl, Tylenol PM, Advil PM, and promethazine. Okay, so you've got antidepressants that decrease your acetylcholine, and you've got two groups of sleep aids, the benzodiazepines and the non-benzodiazepine, which also include the antihistamines. No, it's not a stupid question.
No stupid questions.
Yes, it's the same. Great question.
Yeah.
Is a tablet the same as a pill? Yep.
Yeah.
And capsule. Capsule, pill, tablet, they're all the same.
Just the terminology. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good question.
And another thing people do to sleep, which I did, I was guilty. I was guilty of that, is alcohol. Right? A quick drink before bed or a nightcap. Where did
Isn't that a sleeping aid?
Yeah. Isn't that okay? Well, I thought it was okay until I realized it's not okay. Did you want to say something
No, you
before
go ahead
I
on
dig
that part.
in?
No, you dig in.
But wait, there's more. So alcohol decreases a really important stage of sleeping called stage 4, which is REM, rapid eye movement. Your eyes are going, and during that time, that's when you are dreaming. So if you wake up and you remember, wow, I had dreams, that's a good thing, because that REM is so important. It's where memory occurs. It's where your brain like throws out all the stuff, all the trash in your brain. Like, I don't need that. I'm not hoarding that. And it does all the learning, all the stuff that you learned through the day. It puts it into all the little compartments in your brain. Isn't that amazing? It's all
happening while we sleep. Yeah, and that's why it's so important.
The body is
the junk goes out and the brain knows to grab the good memory thoughts that it wants.
Yeah. I love that. So another recap is please don't be drinking alcohol like I used to go to sleep, because it's going to mess up your REM, and you need REM. Oh, I wanted to also say that the goal is you want to be 20 to 25% of your sleep in REM. So they've got watches and stuff that check how deep your sleep is, so you can get that. Okay, so now we're coming in hot. We're coming in for a landing. I'm going to be talking about tools that you can do to help get your sleep right. First is talk to your doctor to help you come off your medication safely. Okay, because they know how to titrate your medication. But while you're doing that, or actually once before you do that, get your foundation right. Get all these tools down, okay, so that you can come off your medication safely. And so the tools are what we talked about in the last session.
And episode 1 was really a lot of the tools of what you can do to...
Yeah. And then there's more tools. And then this is how, these are other tools. So I recommend getting your foundation right before you come off your medication safely with your doctor, okay? Because they can help you. They don't want you to be on these medications. They just, look, doctors just want you to not feel unwell. They don't want you coming in saying, I don't feel good. We're taught to fix you. We are. But guess what? You can learn how to fix yourself by correcting your foundation, figuring out what you need to do. Don't give a doctor your health to take care of. You take control of your health. That's like my best red flag warning, is reclaim your health. Do not give your health to the healthcare system. Please don't do it, because you're going to be sicker. You are, because these pills don't heal you. Diabetic medications do not heal diabetes. Alzheimer's tablets do not heal Alzheimer's. Sleeping tablets do not heal sleeping problems. Antidepressants do not heal depression. Anti-anxiety medications don't heal anxiety. It's other work. It's the work that you learn on the periphery that we're teaching that helps you reclaim your health, so you don't have to go and ask for pills, okay? However, there's a place for the pills. I know
temporary relief, but not long term.
Yeah. And I stand firm on that. You know, I can't unlearn what I've learned, because I've seen it before my very own eyes as a doctor. People actually get better when they reclaim their health, which is like, okay, do it. Everybody should do it, but only if you want to. Because I can't tell you what to do. You know what I have learned? I have learned that the only way
What have you learned?
I have learned in my 65 short years
what's a thing you have learned?
I have learned one big thing, and that is people will do what they want to do when they want to do it. Not because I want them to do it. Forget it. That I would love that you would want to take care of your health, because I want you to take care of your health. But you know what? It's not going to happen. It's only going to happen when you go, I'm taking control of my health. That's when it's going to happen. So I just suggest that you get to that place fast so that you can have an amazing life. Okay, I'll step down from my soapbox. Okay, so let's talk.
That was your public service announcement
Yeah.
number 2.
Yeah.
Or 3 or 4 by now, I don't know.
Because you know why? I'm back on this box. Do you know why? Because I have seen so much unnecessary suffering, and my heart, like, I don't know what it is about me, but I feel like my antennas go into everybody that I meet, like checking their temperature, checking their emotional.
Because you care.
I feel everybody. And when I feel that people are so unwell, I'm like, this doesn't have to happen. You can do something, take control. But I can't force you to take control. I know that. I'm stepping back down. Okay. Now let's talk about some supplements. I can't help myself, hon.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk about 3 supplements that you can use to help you sleep. One is melatonin. Now, melatonin is a hormone that your body actually creates naturally in the back of your brain in your pineal gland. And it improves sleep by affecting your circadian rhythm. And your circadian rhythm is when you sleep and you wake. It also improves your mitochondria. Your mitochondria is like your little powerhouses in all your cells, your billions of cells, to help it have energy. Melatonin helps your cells have energy. Melatonin also improves your thinking. Am I pounding? Sorry. So the goal is 1 to 2 milligrams before bed. The next is magnesium. Magnesium is necessary for hundreds of biochemical reactions in your body, especially your brain. Your body needs magnesium. Your body needs magnesium. Now, what kind of magnesium? There's magnesium citrate and magnesium glycinate. What?
I just said that. You know.
I'll start anyway. Good thing I don't have a mic on me, huh? So magnesium citrate is really good if you tend to have constipation. Magnesium glycinate is better for you if you tend to have diarrhea.
Important fact.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Because I don't want you to be the patient that calls me up and goes, I don't know what's going on with me, doc, but I can't leave the house because I need to wear a nappy.
I've been taking magnesium and I've got massive diarrhea.
Okay, so you need to come off the magnesium citrate and we need to put you on magnesium glycinate. Yeah.
Yep.
And
So there is a difference if you hear somebody tell you, oh, we just need to take magnesium, well, you can't just go out and get magnesium. There are certain types for different people. So you need to ask, okay, which one is best for me?
Yeah. Or if you are having a nappy problem and you can't leave the house because you're afraid of little accidents, then maybe your magnesium citrate is too high a dose and you need to decrease the dose. So that's also another thing to think about. And the prescription is 200 to 400 milligrams, best at night because it helps you sleep too. Disclaimer, please talk to your doctor if you've got kidney problems or if you've got heart issues. Okay? Then the last one is taurine. Taurine is an amino acid and it helps you sleep also. The prescription, the dosing for that is 500 to 2,000 milligrams 1 hour before bed. So those are 3 things that you can, supplements that you can use. I'd recommend starting on one and adding on as you need them. So to recap, part 2, better sleep. 1 is avoid sleep aids and antidepressants and alcohol to help you sleep. Recap point 2, I encourage you to take control of your health and make sleep a priority. If you're having problems with sleep, Michael didn't have problems with sleep, so this isn't a priority to him, but I still give him the magnesium because I know that it's good for your mitochondria and for your thinking and your brain health.
I don't want it to be a problem.
Right.
So I do use these supplements at nighttime to ensure my good sleep.
Because we really want you to hang around with us because we're training to live to be 100 years strong, toned, healthy, in love, and doing life until our last breath, thinking clearly. Because you know what? We can. We got the pathway. We know what we need to do. So I encourage you to come join us because it's going to be amazing when you have your health in tip-top form. Life is super hard when you're not healthy.
True.
Yeah.
Is that sleep?
I have landed.
Excellent. And before we move on to our relationship segment of the show, I just want to let everyone know about the free resources you'll find on our website, doctoronamission.com. So at doctoronamission.com, we've got 3 resources. 1, I've got a guidebook there, Smart Eating for Smart Kids. It's fueling your child's brain for success. you know of anybody with kids or you got kids, just understand that early stages of development for the child's brain is so important, and nutrition is a major impact on the development of your child. And in there, I've got a lot of great things about the foods to eat for good brain health, the things to avoid, also how to work with picky eaters.
Because you know about that.
Yeah. Well,
Michael was a stay-at-home dad.
Working with those picky eaters. And just a lot of tips on how to work with nutrition and your children as they are developing their brain. That's a free resource. You can look for that on DrOnAmission.com. And also we have a free masterclass on overcoming anxiety and depression. If you or someone you know is struggling in the area of anxiety and depression, free masterclass. Just jump on in there, tap on in, and give you an opportunity, a real overview of how you can start to learn how to overcome that anxiety and depression. And then also a free masterclass on preventing and reversing Alzheimer's. And you'll learn a lot if it's you or someone you know who may need some help in this area. This is something that will really very much benefit in those areas. So that's at DrOnAmission.com. There you go. And for those free resources you could find. Okay. All righty. Well, now let's get into our relationship chat today.
Yes. What are we going to talk about?
I'm going to learn. I'm titling this "Learn to Deal Constructively with Conflict," because
because we had to learn.
Yeah. Well, I'm using the word conflict, but it could be conflict or arguments or discussions, whatever you want to do. But I mean, when you got two human beings together in an environment, a close proximity, 24/7, a lot. And hopefully you're around each other a lot, then stuff's going to come up because you're still different beings and we all have different thoughts on things. We react differently. Men and women are different. Let's be real. We're different. We react differently. We think differently. Many times we don't get each other, and so things can happen. And
they do.
And they do. So let me just talk about a few things around this area. One is no yelling. Okay. For Isabel and I, we had to learn no yelling or no just walking away and not dealing with it. For me, when there was a problem, my way of dealing with it was not facing it and just walking away and, do the icing out thing. Like, I can't talk about, wouldn't bring it to a resolution. Isabel's way was
that would make me go chase him, yelling at him, going, "Get back in this room. We're going to talk about this." And then that would make him pull back even more.
Which was the other side of it, which was the exact opposite, which was the yelling side of it. And volumes raised and raised and raised. And so we both had to learn how to function in a disagreement, a conflict, whatever you might call it. I had to learn to step into it and
talk.
And talk.
Yeah. And
say,
I needed to learn how to...
I had to learn to kind of pull it back.
Inside voices.
Yeah, inside voices, yeah. We're not in the middle of a stadium hollering, so people can hear us.
I know.
So just, learning about, where you are with your personality, shall I say. Do you need to step forward and learn how to step up and deal with things? Or are you someone that needs to kind of step down a little bit and bring it down to a level where the other person can hear you in a way that they can actually listen?
Yeah, because you couldn't hear me when I was yelling at you.
Well, you
I would go louder to make sure you heard me, but
Yeah.
that would freak you out. Like it should, because that just raises your cortisol level.
Right, it's not helping.
It doesn't help.
So whatever your personality is, it's learning to come together to either stepping forward or kind of maybe stepping back a little bit and going whichever way. No, going to bed mad. We probably all heard about this thing, but that's one of the worst things you can do is go to bed mad. Just, I'm so mad. resolve the issue before you go to bed. And even if it's, I just want to say, even if you don't quite resolve it, at least just give a hug and say, hey, can I just sleep on this tonight and we'll catch up in the morning or something? I know we haven't resolved this, but I love you. I just need to go to sleep. It might be just, you might not feel like kissing and making up, but even just a hug to say, I love you. I know we have this argument and we have this conflict. We haven't resolved it, but let's just sleep on it so we can come together in the morning on it. And that's a way of de-escalating the situation. So, because I know it's been said, this saying is don't go to bed angry. Well, sometimes you can't quite get it all taken care of before you go to bed. Mm-mm. But it's a way of de-escalating and just acknowledging, hey, I know we haven't figured it all out.
And that, what you're asking people to do is a hard thing to do. Because, is, okay, can we hug on it and then go back to bed? So that's hard to do, but so worth it.
Right.
Because you're going to sleep better. I'll have the covers.
Yeah.
I'll have some of the covers.
Well, I think the problem is with us humans, we all have some level of ego. And when we're in a conflict, we want to be right.
We all want to be right.
I don't care how much of an ego you have. If you feel, oh, I don't really have an ego. We all have somewhat of an ego because when we get into a conflict, we think we're right. If the other person, if we thought, oh, okay, you're right, then there's not a conflict. So when there is a conflict, that means that we think they're right and the other person thinks they're right. So at the end of the day, we have to kind of give that up a little bit to come together if we haven't resolved that by the end of the day and just say, hey, I know we haven't resolved it. Let's just, might be a quick hug, but just say, let's sleep on it and we'll come back together in the morning and work on resolving this. Because a lot of times just some rest, just some sleeping on it really can, we can feel a lot better. And yeah, I know. Is it hard? Yeah, it is. But it's because, we have egos and we all want to be right. And that's not necessarily where it needs to go. Yeah.
We haven't had one of those in a long time.
No. And another one is no silent treatment for days. If there's a conflict and, you haven't worked it out, then you don't just go days and days and days like, I'm not even going to talk to you. And it's because then it just escalates. It gets worse. Do your best to, again, you might be busy. You might not be able to come together. But the next time you're able to come together, you just have to drop that ego a little bit and just say, hey, let's work this out. And sometimes maybe the other person is the one who seems to be kind of icing you out or something like that. Well, then don't just throw an ice out right back at them. I mean, step up. And I'm talking to you guys, all you men out there too. Is if you feel your wife is icing you out or something from a conflict, well then step up and say, hey hon, let's work this out. I want to work this out. And that's dropping your ego, not be like, okay, well you've iced me out, I'm going to ice you out. I'll see you. I'm out of here. I'm going out of the pub for the next 3 days. It just makes matters worse. Because we're talking about learning to deal constructively with conflict. Not making the conflict turn into World War III. Because that's when now it spirals out of control if you do something like that. And then another one is you don't look back at all the mistakes. I don't have an example offhand right now, but let's just say I just did something right now that Isabel felt really bad about. And and then let's say I go, oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. And she goes, oh, yeah. And then you did that in January, 2 months ago. And
so
then
I keep a count. I keep a count. Well, in June of 21, you did this. And tick, tick, tick. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Keep a short account. Right, babe?
Well, it's just deal with what you're dealing
Yeah,
with.
right. Just
You
deal
know, it
with
has
what
nothing
you
to do. If there was something that somebody did wrong, whatever it was back there, well, then you need to deal with it then. It's like going to a restaurant and having a poor meal, and then you go back to the same restaurant and the meal is poor, and you tell them, "Hey, I had a poor meal here 2 weeks ago," and then they go, "Oh, well, what was going on?" You know, and it's like, well, don't bring that up now. You know, let's talk about now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that sounds silly that we would
No,
do
it's
that.
good, babe.
That we would do something like that at a restaurant, but that's what we're talking about. Keep it to what the deal is right now. Okay. Anything else you want to add to that?
I do.
Okay.
I heard.
Okay, that's the end. All right, next segment now. We're on to
but
inspiration.
this is another one, back pocket principle that we
Okay.
can implement. And I hope we get to implement this sometime in our lifetime because it sounds exciting.
Oh.
It does. I heard it on Tucker Carlson on one of his podcasts.
Yeah, what do you
on
got?
how him and his wife deal with arguments. So what they do is they each go for a walk, which is always a good idea. Just go for a walk and separately, and just, decompress and then come back and talk about it. And if that doesn't work, if there's still, if it's still like boom, 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 and your jugular veins are sticking out, you just want to strangle the person, then what he recommends is book a hotel, order room service, and for 3 days be in there butt naked and work things out.
Well, I think I'm going to start a conflict right now. I like the sound of that. Okay, there's a conflict. Well, you go for a walk, I'll go for a walk, and when I get back and say, well, we haven't resolved this, so
we got to go to the hotel.
I'm booking the hotel right now, and I'm not bringing any clothes.
And the point is, yes, this sounds fabulous, and I can't wait until we have our next argument. I will implement that back pocket principle.
Yeah, forget all these other ones, man. We're not. Yeah, I'm heading right now to the naked hotel.
No, not the naked
I
hotel,
know, I
Ben.
was kidding.
We're in our birthday suits.
It's not the
facing each other, dealing with the
Yeah.
argument.
Oh.
No, well, maybe.
Yeah.
But, we have
Well,
to
there's
talk.
the makeup, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, all right. 10 minutes later, we solved the problem. Now it's 3 more days of
Room service and
service
TV
and hanging
and
out.
hot tubs and workouts. And yeah, so I thought that was a nice little extra implementation tool. Okay.
Well, we'll put that one in there. So that was our relationship segment today. Learning
See,
to
you
deal
keep on learning.
constructively with conflict. Hopefully that helped out. You got a little something out of that. And if you got any ideas, put it in the
Let
comments.
us hear.
Let us know. Give us some suggestions and comments. If yours is a week at the hotel, I don't know.
Whatever, but the point is you
Yeah.
resolve it.
Yeah, you resolve it.
Yeah.
All righty. So now I want to leave you off with an inspirational segment. And today in the inspirational segment, I'm not quite sure if it's actually inspiration, but it's something for us to think about. And what I want us to think about.
It is inspiration for the other person that you're asking the question to.
Yeah.
Because they feel like you're hearing them.
Yeah, you're inspiring other people in a way
because
that
you're showing you care.
You're right.
So tell them what we're going to do.
Golly.
Well, I was trying to help you on. This is an inspiration
It is,
piece.
yeah, it's an inspiration to others.
I was trying to pump you up.
Yeah, well, I was just trying to think of the right word there.
Okay, well, ta-da.
Yeah.
Remember, I'm your cape,
I know.
Superman.
Yes, thank you for the cape. So, what I want to bring up is, as human beings here on the planet, is how often do we, in our daily time, we walk by somebody or wherever it may be, and we're just like, hey, how you doing? How's it going? And as we're doing it, we're just walking right on by. I mean, we're just blurting that out as something. I mean, think about what you're saying. It's an actual question that you are saying to somebody. Hey, how you doing? How's it going? And we're just right on by. And we're not actually listening. I mean, imagine if you were maybe on a walk or even at at work, at your job, your career, whatever it may be, and you were walking by a colleague or a peer, and as you went by, you said, "Hey, how you doing?" And you just kept going, and as you said that and they were going by, they were like, "Oh, no, not very good. My dad just died of cancer," or, "Oh, well, my wife just left me yesterday," and this, or, "We lost one of our kids, from, with a car accident." And you weren't even, were you actually, did you actually care? Was there some caring behind that statement? And I'm not saying I don't do it. I mean, I know I'm working on that myself, as understanding that, if I say to somebody, "Hey, how you doing? How's it going?" Then I need to actually listen to the answer to that question, because I have asked something of somebody and it is a question, or am I just making a statement at them? Am I just, "Hey, how you going?" And I'm throwing a statement at you, and I don't really care. I mean, I don't care who you are, whatever, because
it's
I
just
guess,
something we say, and we need to
and we
wake
do,
up
and
and
we-
pay attention to what we're
because
saying.
we are human beings here on this planet together, and you might, in that moment, be coming across somebody, even if it's somebody you're close to, like I said, a work colleague, or somebody maybe just on a walk or wherever, or in a coffee shop, that moment right then, they actually needed somebody to hear them.
Yeah.
Maybe it's somebody who's suffering from anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, and they're just, standing there in line, and you just happen to say, "Hey, how you going?" And you might be the person that they needed to talk to, but you'll never know if you don't listen. So I guess what I'm saying is, have some caution, have some awareness on the fact that when you're asking another human being, "Hey, how are you going? How's life?" or "How you doing?" that be prepared to actually listen, because you're asking a question. Now, you don't have to. You might just be walking by, so, "Oh, good morning." Great. That's a statement. "Hello." You're onward. But if you're asking that question, then I believe as human beings, we have a commitment to actually listen to the response to that. And if the response is, "Yep, I'm doing good," then okay, great. We've heard that, and, acknowledge it. Hey, great.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that, hon?
Oh, yeah. Of course I do, babe. Come on.
Go ahead.
Okay. I know that when people say we're walking and they'll go, "How are you doing?" My immediate response is, "Oh, great." Like, I know they're not serious, because they're just walking right by. They're not stopping to say, "How are things going for you?" So I just respond out of kindness, to not burden them, because I know they're not serious.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. People really need to be cognizant of what they're asking, because it's a deep question.
It is an actual
How
deep
are
question.
you doing?
And if we're not aware of it, we might have just
Missed
come
something.
across somebody that actually that question would have meant a lot to at that time. So so just as a human here on earth, talking to people, this is something that we need to all be aware of and think a little bit more about in society.
Yeah, I will do better about that,
And it's
too.
something I just, I've been working on it myself, thinking, okay, when I'm saying that, do I actually care? And if not, then I'll just say, "Hey, good morning," and because I'm not right now, I'm going somewhere, and I might not have the time to ask that question and actually pay attention to it. Good morning, hello, I'm onward. Okay.
Great question. Good point.
Well, thank you for joining us today here on the MD and Chef Team Show. And if you want to learn more about us, social media, you can look us up on pretty much all social media channels at Dr. On a Mission. You'll find us for daily insights, inspiration, stories, behind the scenes. Learn a little bit more about who are these crazy guys on this MD and Chef Team Show. And if you want to learn more about us and get into those free resources, and also about our coaching, our courses, everything else we've got going on, check us out at dronamission.com. Thank you so much for coming by today. It was an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure to share with you today.
And fun.
And fun. And as you can tell, We like to learn and have fun while we learn.
All righty. So we'll be back in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
All right. Mwah. God bless
Thanks
you.
for coming by.
Bye-bye.
If you're part of that 70% who haven't subscribed yet, well, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can come along with us. Give us a like. Thanks.